Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Corey C., the former ICON Census ambassador, and I'm here with a very special guest today, and his name is Ian Balina. How are you today, Ian? How's everything?
Doing great, Corey. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here as well, man. I really can't wait to explain to you all of the wonderful things that have happened in the ICON ecosystem over the last 5 months. Since decentralization, actually 4 months since decentralization. So much has happened, and I'm really excited to tell you all about it. I really am.
Sounds great.
So the first thing I want to talk about is decentralization. So one of the focal components of ICON was to decentralize the network and to allow for the people to control the network. So what's happening now is something called these PREPs. What they are is they are public representatives that are voted in by iconists who have coins, ICON coins. And what those people do is they delegate their coins to these teams and they get rewards for it. It's staking. And right now, the annual return rate is about 18% annually. And you have 210 million different, 210 ICX coins at this moment in time that are excuse me, that are staked. I think it's pretty incredible that 30% of the supply right now is staked.
That's great. I mean, that's a large amount to launch with.
Absolutely. And when you have these different teams running nodes, they're not only just running nodes, they are doing massive things for the community. We have different teams that we need to look at ICON like this. We have the foundation, the actual company itself, with about 150 employees. But then we have to focus on the PREP teams, and there's 85 of them right now. And some PREP teams have 3 people, some have 5, some have 20. So we have PREP teams from around the world, 85 different PREPs spanning 5 continents, working on expanding ICON. And some of these teams, for example, Metanyx is working to implement ICX payments with Shopify. We have Parrot9, which is looking to develop UI designs within the ICON ecosystem. We have ICONDAO working with a $10 billion management fund looking to build a digital institution. They didn't want me to disclose the name, so I'm not going to disclose the name. But we have Metra ICX, which allows you to, which was created by Rhizome, which allows for you to check where your staking amount, how to claim iScore, and so on and so forth. And I'm on a team called Ubik Capital. Ubik Capital, we are creating something called a drone program. We participated in the test net in regards to the ICON ecosystem before decentralization was launched. We have a gigantic blog with over 10 different articles discussing ICON and the intricacies of decentralization. And I'm truly excited to be part of this ecosystem because of the amount that's actually going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for that overview. Now, I was an early investor in ICON, but I haven't held ICON in over a year now. Now, with that being said, so PREP team is really like a ground movement, a ground community. Now, yes. The PREPs, they also stake ICON. They also stake ICON.
Yes, so the PREPs have the choice too. What happens is that the iconists themselves, they delegate their coins to the PREP teams, and the iconists, which iconists is another word for the people who own icon coins, they stake, they get rewards, and so do PREP teams. And PREP teams can decide to stake or redeem rewards, and that can be redeemed every 24 hours.
All right, very interesting.
Which is very interesting because we have the ability now to obtain rewards by just staking, just leaving your coins locked up. And the lockup period is not that long. And it changes on the basis of how many coins are staked. So if you have the more people who stake, the less of time it takes to unstake. Now, if you have less staked, then you have more of a time. So right now it's about 11 days, the lockup period.
Boom. So are you now pretty much all in on Icon?
I am. Yes, I am. I'm 100% in Icon. I'm very confident what's going on. We just signed a partnership with Chainlink to deliver oracles, and I think that's
Okay.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible initiative because it allows for smart contracts to I believe it was to communicate off chain. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a huge deal, especially with such a prominent project such as Chainlink. And to reference some other teams, we have a team called WeBlock that is actually speaking with the mayor of Jeju Island, which is part of South Korea. And what they're planning on doing is implementing an IRC token called WOC. IRC is another word for ERC, like Ethereum. And what they plan on doing is they want to implement it in cafes in this area, and ICX will pay the fees. And I think that's incredible. We also have our BTP launch, blockchain transmission protocol,
Mm-hmm.
which just launched and is ready for commercialization by the first half end of this year, which I think is incredible. I also think it speaks volumes that Icon was listed on Binance US, one of the few coins that was listed on Binance US.
Very true. Yeah.
And that speaks volumes on the legitimacy of this company, because we have to put into perspective, this is a market now that's built on the basis of infrastructure. It's no longer a market I feel like it's no longer a market of speculation. It's matured since 2017. And we're seeing now the Icon ecosystem flourish, develop. We have the Korean financial, I think it was the Korean Financial Commission that signed an agreement with Icon Loop to stop spam. Icon is really, really, really doing very, very, very important things behind the scenes. We have now MyID. The MyID Alliance is a digital identification service with 44 different partners that includes Samsung Securities, Kyobo, and multiple other different companies as well. It's an incredible initiative. It really is. Icon is doing a lot behind the scenes, and I'm very, very grateful that I can share it with you, because
is there anything I can help answer? Any questions you have?
Sure. So let me ask you a question. So there are some people in the community that are very curious, and I'm sure that maybe you can shed some light on this. So people are saying that Ian didn't leave the Icon community peacefully, but I don't think that's true. I know you left peacefully, for what I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So I talked to Min. Last time I spoke with him was about a few weeks ago, or yeah. So I mean, me and Min were on good terms, right? Everything was water under the bridge. So for those who don't know, I was an early investor in Icon back in 2017, September, via the ICO and pre-sale. Icon helped me as an investor make a ton of money, so I'm always grateful. Now, so I have no issue at all with the company or the project. The issue I had was back then, Icon had a Telegram group, and I thought that was their official Telegram group, and that part I was mistaken. So their unofficial Telegram group basically threw me under the bus, just spreading a bunch of lies about everything I was doing with Icon. And at that time, I thought that was the Icon team doing that. But after reaching out to Min, he told me that it wasn't an official Icon group. It was an unofficial group that was kind of masquerading as the official Icon group, because Icon didn't have a Telegram group at that time. So me and him kind of talked about it. Everything is cool now. Everything is kosher. And that's basically it.
That's great to hear. It's great to hear, because I think the community is a little bit, it's been almost 2 years. So I think it's very confusing for some Iconists. And I think it's fair for them to realize what truly happened. And I really am grateful that you brought that to my attention and the Iconist attention, because people need to know that what happened was peaceful. What happened was accidental. And I see you guys have been speaking. The last couple of weeks, I saw that you guys spoke on Twitter, and my friend sent me pictures of you guys getting completely very alone. Like, you guys were at a conference together where you and Min were shaking hands together. I don't know what conference that was, but I saw you.
while back, I think. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, me and Min are good. We talk on Telegram via email, so I mean, everything is good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what other questions do you have? Like what else are you curious about? Like the P-reps, the staking, decentralization, 85 P-rep teams, blockchain transmission protocol ready to go, Binance US listing. We have a paradigm now that
I mean, okay, so one question I do have for all the reps. Do you guys think ICON can surpass Ethereum in terms of market cap and developer community? And
I think,
how do you think it's going to achieve that?
sure. I think that's a very good question. I think ICON, the one thing that's massive about ICON right now, so we have about 100,000 transactions right now that's going on daily. Specifically, there's one decentralized application called ICON Bet, which is a decentralized betting platform that has one of the highest amounts of volume in the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. And in my personal opinion, in regards to surpassing Ethereum, I think it's going to be very, very, very difficult to do, but I don't think it's impossible because we have, as much as Ethereum has state backing as well, ICON is now having state backing with South Korea. With MyID, it's very easy for the ICON Foundation to expand their reach into different corporations, into different countries. So I think personally that with these P-reps, you have P-reps that are community oriented, you have P-rep teams that are marketing oriented, you have P-rep teams that are IT oriented. So these are teams with a diversified skill sets. And I think that ICON has the potential to possibly rival Ethereum in the future because of its ability. It's scalable, it's faster in regards to transactions, and we have P-rep teams that are trying to implement numerous different things, from Ubik Capital's drone program implementing ICON to Metanyx implementing ICX payments on Shopify. Parrot9 is looking to build a kind of like an iTunes where you pay in ICX. You have all these different P-rep teams looking to expand the ecosystem in the way they see their own strengths. You have people building dApps, you have people reaching out to different governmental entities. And the fact that ICON has governmental legitimacy backing it speaks volumes on legitimacy of the actual company and the actual protocol itself. You don't have a lot of teams, I mean, not teams, you don't have a lot of cryptocurrency projects that are backed by legitimate enterprises and governmental entities.
Very true, very true. Okay, I mean, the way I view it is, long term, I don't think ICON will surpass Ethereum, but I don't think that's the way people should view it. So the way I view it is, ICON is going to be the primary blockchain for North Korea.
Yes.
So imagine, picture the car industry, right? So you have lots of car manufacturers from North Korea, whether Kia, Hyundai, what have you. Those companies are very, very successful in their own right.
Yes.
They haven't displaced Toyota or Ford or GM, but they've done very, very well. So I think if you kind of have that same perspective and say, okay, ICON is going to dominate South Korea. So to a point where that will be their de facto blockchain and their ecosystem. And yes, it may not be as big as Ethereum, but it's still going to be a very successful blockchain if you view it through that lens. And that's really the lens I have, right? And that's what made me invest initially, because I saw this as the Ethereum for Korea.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important that what ICX is what it's trying to do is trying to interconnect different blockchains. You can't have an ecosystem that's mass adopted when these different protocols can't, for lack of a better word, speak with one another. And I think that's such a crucial component of ICON that BTP is now pretty much released in its version 1.0, and it's set for commercialization by the end of the first half of this year. I think that's huge. I think that's massive, because the fact that we now have the technology or the technological innovation to connect these different blockchains together. And I think that will help with mass adoption, specifically in South Korea, where ICON hails.
Yes, yeah, very true. Now, what made you fall in love with ICON? And do you own any other cryptocurrencies, or are you just all in on Icon?
No. So I have 100% Icon. I have nothing else. I have no Bitcoin, no
Oh, wow.
Ethereum.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm all in on Icon. My whole life is in Icon, and I intend on staying in this ecosystem, as long as I can, hopefully for the rest of my life. So the reason why I got into Icon specifically was because as a person who's studying to be a history teacher and an American, I was very fascinated by Icon's governance model, the Icon Republic, voting, how Iconists had a voice within the ecosystem, a transparent democracy that really isn't existing. And it really isn't in the digital world, it's not existing. It's not existing yet. So when I saw that paradigm being created where people have a voice and people can be rewarded for having a voice, I was very enticed by that notion. I was very enticed by the idea that this blockchain protocol mirrored its governance model after the United States government. And I found a lot of appreciation in that. I found appreciation in the idea that this blockchain protocol was looking to interconnect other blockchains because that's a necessity for this not just this project, but this ecosystem to succeed. I also fell in love with this project because of the community. The community is very, very, very unique. The community is very, very, very vibrant. The community is always involved in infrastructure building and infrastructure questioning, because what Icon is looking to build is a legitimate digital nation where you have people, iconists, that consistently try to they utilize their iconist coin, their icon coins, and vote for the P reps that they see are doing the benefit most to Icon, almost like voting in a politician that you see is doing the best for your country. And I found that real world paradigm that was being amalgamated with the Icon ecosystem very, very, very enticing. And I was very appreciative of it because it was literally a democracy. And I really, really appreciate that because in this world, democracy is not as abundant as we like to think it is. And I think building digital nations within cryptocurrency, specifically Icon, is such an amazing feat.
Yeah, I mean, well said, well said. I think what they're trying to do with building a digital nation is definitely something that lots of other projects can learn from. Because, I mean, from talking to you, it seems like they've done a really great job with communicating with the community and making them evangelists for the project.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, communication has improved drastically. And when you have, 85 different public representatives, and many of them have their own Telegram channels, it's very easy to be transparent on what you're working on, how you're spending your rewards, how P reps are spending their rewards that they're given through Iconists delegating their coins. And a lot of these teams are, I would say even most of them, are restaking and they're utilizing these ICX to build the infrastructure. Like I said before, Ubik Capital is building a drone program. Ubik Capital was involved in the test net. We have Rhizome that built a mobile DApp, mobile application that allows you to track your Icon wallet and your iScore and your staking and so on and so forth. We have ICONDAO that's working with billion-dollar management funds. We have all these different P-rep teams that are.
Question: can you kind of walk me through those incentives again? So you mentioned the P reps. So the P reps get Iconis is called, or get Icon tokens?
Sure. Sorry, I keep saying Iconists. Iconists are the individuals who hold Icon coins.
Yes. So they delegate their coins to P rep.
Yes.
And they earn what, 18%? You said annually?
As of right now, 18%. The staking percentage increases and decreases depending on the network staked. So the more that's staked, the less is made. But it'll flatline at about 3%.
Okay, so you as a P rep, you earning 18% or more?
About 18% as of right now, yes.
As well, right? So people delegate their coins to you, and you're working on a project, which is, what'd you say it was again?
We have the drone program we're working on. We participate in the test net. We're a very community oriented team, which is exactly why I'm glad we're speaking, because my focus on this team is to reach out to prominent cryptocurrency influencers and expand the word of Icon.
Okay, I mean, so this is really staking, but with a purpose, right? So you
Yes.
you choose who you want to stake or delegate your your ICX to, who's doing something actionable. So with you, you're doing a drone. So if somebody wants to support you with the drone, they give you their ICX.
Yes, you can put it like that. Yep. And let's say, so for example, another PREP team called Icon for Education. Icon for Education is a PREP team that's comprised of teachers. And what they do is they create weekly quizzes for the Icon community. So if you have an appreciation for teachers and educating, you would delegate your stake to them, for a perfect example.
Now, how do people verify that the PREPs are executing and doing whatever they claim they would do?
No, that's a very, very good question. So each of these teams have a community. Some of these teams have an Icon Telegram community that's separate from the actual foundation community Telegram, and it's all about transparency. So in regards to, it's almost like a mutual agreement because Iconists can easily just unstake their votes from that PREP team if they don't see development that's supposed to happen. So it's all about transparency and clarity. So these PREP teams, if they're not working up to par like they should be, then Iconists can easily take their stake away and delegate to another team.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that with a lot of these PREP teams also have their own personal Twitter accounts where they list their information, they list their achievements. We also have on the Icon community page a forum for the different proposals of each team. And these proposals include what they intend on doing within the Icon ecosystem. And most PREP teams have proposals. So these Iconists can look at these proposals and say, is this team going to do this? And if this team has a roadmap, let's see if they abide by this roadmap. And if they don't, maybe I should question and see if I should vote for another team.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely does almost in a way align the game theory incentives to make people want to cooperate and make sure everything is working as optimum as possible.
And that's exactly why it's so important, because it's it's all about incentivization, and you have incentivization on all fronts. You have Iconists earning rewards, you have PREPs earning rewards, you have the foundation expanding its reach through the ability of PREPs, because PREPs are just the way if anybody is curious about a PREP, the way I can describe it as, it's someone within it's a team within the Icon ecosystem that acts directly in accordance to the Icon ecosystem, but at the same time acts separately.
So actually, that got me thinking. They're almost like super PACs in politics.
You could the way that actually is that makes sense. I can honestly say that they are different teams that get delegated a certain amount of money to achieve certain things, and the people who vote for them, instead of just getting rewarded, I guess you could say, on the basis of a vote, they get basis on being paid. And these Iconists can convert their Icon, it's called iScore, every 24 hours. So they can redeem rewards every 24 hours when they start staking.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it easily from the Iconix Chrome extension wallet. And it's very, very simple. They made the user interface very, very easy. It's very easy to stake. And 18% is one of the highest staking paradigms right now in this ecosystem, if I'm not mistaken.
It's up there. I mean, there are some I believe that might have more, but yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's definitely a good amount, especially when you see 215 million ICX being staked. It shows that people, that they're very, very, very inclined to stake, and that there's an incentivization measure there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's definitely been very informational. As somebody who's I've kind of kept tabs on Icon, but not too much as I used to, right? Because obviously I don't hold Icon anymore. But my business partner, he holds a bunch of Icons, so he's still bullish as you get when it comes to Icon.
And I also wanted to say one thing I actually almost forgot. BROOF, which is a blockchain issuance certification service, Post Tech which is one of the largest Korean universities in South Korea, are using that to issue diplomas now.
Using ICON to issue diplomas?
They're using a ICON-based service called BROOF,
Okay.
which is a blockchain certificate issuance service, and PostTech is utilizing that service, that technology, to issue diplomas for their students. And PostTech is one of the most well-known universities in South Korea.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I had to bring that up. I was like, oops, I forgot that I have to bring that up.
Yeah.
But I'm very confident in these teams. I'm very confident in every team, even the teams I didn't name because it's just 85 of them. But the teams, you know, Rhizome, ICONDAO, Ubik Capital, ICX Station. There's so many different teams out there. And it speaks volumes that 85 teams spanning 5 different continents are willing to expand the ICON ecosystem. It speaks volumes that people have that ability, that ability within the ICON ecosystem to go out there and say, this is how I'm going to expand the ICON ecosystem in the way I see fit, in the way that I can expand it, in the way that I see benefit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I definitely wish ICON the best of luck. I also wish you the best of luck with your endeavors with ICON and being a peer rep.
Thank you.
Something that seems to be growing. I can definitely see the traction online on social media community.
Yeah, that's another thing. The social media presence has been heightened exponentially. Like I'm seeing different tweets about how ICON's social media presence has reached an all-time high in the last couple of months, and that's a huge deal. It goes to show that the community is watching and that the people outside of the community are watching the different initiatives that ICON is doing.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, comments?
No, I just wanted that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. BTP, the Binance US listing, different P reps working together collectively to expand the ICON ecosystem. What else? I talked about MyID a little bit. And yeah, no, that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss with you.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, so our team is always doing research on projects. So I definitely encourage anybody who wants to keep tabs on ICON to check out their token metrics on our platform, tokenmetrics.com. The technology has always been pretty good based on our ratings. So I definitely encourage anybody to go out there and check it out. Right now, ICON, we are very bullish from a technical analysis standpoint. So ICON is performing well from a TA standpoint based on the weekly TA. And ICON I see is up 10% today.
Yes,
so
it is. Yeah, actually,
bullish.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the future of ICON. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was a pleasure speaking to you, Corey.
Thank you so much.
Keep me posted on things on Twitter. And
Definitely.
Wish your P-Rep, the drones and everything, and also the whole entire ICON community the best of luck.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you so much, Ian.
All right. Thank you.